welcome to China's eastern city of Wuxi. I'm Cao Chufeng. Now, Wuxi is known as China's capital for Internet of Things. It's home to over 3,000 IoT enterprises with 82 listed companies. So I thought this would be a perfect place to have a deep discussion on IoT. So today I will plan to have a roundtable discussion with three very special guests and at a very special place. So let's go and have a look. Ta-da! This is actually a self-driving minibus. As you probably can see here, there's no driver, and sometimes they will have a staff member on board just for security reasons. So I'm gonna fasten my seatbelt here, and so let's go. While we are going, I have to introduce our three experts here now. They are all from the three core sectors that Wuxi is particularly strong with, namely Internet of Vehicle, Industrial Internet, and also intelligent sensors.
Welcome to our three guests. First of all, Hu Bojun. Mr. Hu comes from the Huaxin Wuxi Sensors Technology Company as the general manager, and Mr. Chen comes from the sector of the Internet of Vehicles, and also another guest is from Ge Borui as the CEO. Welcome to you all. The first issue we would love to discuss is about the industry-specific characteristics. I know that this minibus we are taking actually is operated by your company. So could you please tell us what's the feature about this minibus and what services can you offer? It's an unmanned minibus. From the outlook, you could find the sensors of different types. There is no brake, no steering wheel. We have an AI system to operate this minibus. And also, we start its operation in public. On certain designated routes, you could directly book such a riding service. So it's a point-to-point pickup service. And we have received very good feedback from the citizens. So this could be said as a very typical example of Internet of Vehicles. Could you please explain to us what is Internet of Vehicles? According to my understanding, it's like the vehicles are connected and there must be such a headquarters to control all of them. Vehicles are connected to everything. If between vehicles and men, and vehicles and infrastructure, they are all connected. The sensors are also mounted on them, and also they can be connected with the traffic police. We could acquire different types of information, so we are truly open to all types of information on our way. And about Mr. Ge, I know you are an expert in manufacturing sector, and in terms of textile, modern textile has about 100 years of history in your company. And you are trying to help the traditional textile industries to upgrade themselves through digitalization. So what's the use of it? Wuxi is the birthplace of textile industry, actually. Textile industry is serving as one of the dominant industries in Wuxi, and with industrial restructuring, traditional labor-intensive production method cannot sustain themselves in Wuxi. So the textile industries in Wuxi aim to distinguish themselves in such a competitive market. So restructuring is a necessary path. Could you please explain to us about the scenarios For example, scenarios of a traditional industry and an upgraded industry. In our industry, there is an old saying that in traditional textile industries, they are mostly dominated by labor-intensive production method. But in modern textile industry, especially in high-end companies, a typical scenario is the female workers wearing hats and go through the different equipment to do the weaving and other manufacturing work. And that's the old impression of the previous industry. But now if you go to those factories, you can seldomly find the workers working in the factories. So the autonomous and intelligent devices are replacing the manpower. Sometimes robots could do the job. So I'm guessing you could save cost and speed up the production process. Of course, we can save the cost. In Wuxi, the labor cost is pretty high, especially in terms of the first-line staff of textile industry. It's like 8,000 to 10,000 RMB yuan per month for their salary. Compared to Pakistan, Vietnam, and Indonesia, our labor cost is 3 to 5 times more. Speaking of cost reduction, we must do something to control it in order to survive in the textile industry. Thank you for the information, and we will dig deeper into Highland textile later. Now about Mr. Hu. I know you are an expert in the production and research of sensors. So could you explain to us about the role of sensors and how are they playing their role in the IoT? They're just like the sensing organs of human body like noses and eyes. Man could sense the world with their own organs, but for robotics and vehicles and smart cities, they must have such physical sensors in order to sense everything. So what is its role in the IoT? Take a smart city as an example. The city's security, the underground pipes, gas pipes, the optical sensors could make some judgments and decisions. The accelerator sensors can also help. We also have a radar system to check the water level underground. So, for the smart cities, the sensors could deliver data serving as the brain of the city. A follow-up question. Mr. Chen and Mr. Ge, your industries must have application of sensors as well, right? Yes, indeed. For example, on the minibus, what sensors are used? From the appearance of the minibus. Actually, you can find no mirrors on the outside. Instead, in the exactly same place, you can find radar sensors, both in the front and in the rear, or even on board the bus. So, the sensors are truly sensing the real world. They are very necessary. For example, when there is a bus passing by, my minibus will use the camera to sense it, and the radar will calculate the speed and its relative speed to our speed, and also it must have some calculation about the real-world distance, so as to decide, should I take a detour or should I speed up? So that's like highly related to us. Mr. Chen mentioned radar. I'm thinking radar seems to be used most frequently in the military sector, and as to its difference from the military application, Mr. Hu, starting from 1940, radar system was used by UK in the beginning to sense the aircrafts, and then it was applied on land. In the military sector, it has huge power. It takes a large area. With technological iteration, now we can use them to sense the vehicles, the pipelines in the city. And also we have reduced the power, the occupation area. The data collection and analysis and uploading are also additional functionalities. For civil use radar, a big difference is about the different scenarios. And the technical roadmap is changed as well. Mr. Ge, in the textile industry, there must be some sensors used. Yes. When we are weaving, sensors are frequently used. The different devices and machinery parts, we must have a positioning, correct capture movements or delivery movements. All of those movements must be done with the support of the LiDAR system.
From a practitioner's point of view, just how developed these people sectors are. I'm going to ask our experts here.
I was wondering in the beginning that you three come from three sectors like Internet of Vehicles, smart sensors, and Internet of Things, which represent the leading industries in Wuxi. So I was wondering that as a practitioner in those industries, what do you think are the prospects of the three industries in Wuxi? First of all, Wuxi has some traditional industrial chain for the vehicle parts, and then with the Internet of Vehicles technology development, the traditional parts must be developed with higher standards. And now, under the framework of Internet of Vehicles, there are more opportunities for other industries like cloud computing, algorithms, and sensors. And also some factories are upgraded in order to follow the pace. In the competition with the peers, we must have our own competitive edge. We started our trials and cultivation of new industries early on. And now in Wuxi, the big industrial clusters include 1,300 companies with about 200 core leading companies. And the total size is about 200 billion RMB yuan. So there must be a new wave of development of Internet of Vehicles with that support. And in the future, the Internet of Vehicle industry will have high growth rate. For high-end textile or Internet of Things, what about them? The IoT in the textile industry is leading the way in Wuxi. Wuxi has the most cutting-edge IoT industry in the whole nation. And as to this textile industry, we have about 300 companies practicing from dyeing to weaving. We have a very complete industrial chain, and over the years, the production chain's development benefited from the IoT development. First of all, the digitalization played its role, boosting the competitiveness of our factories. And in the international market, especially since European and USA requirements for textile products are growing higher, low carbon, carbon neutrality, the certification requirements ask all the plants to reach the targets of traceability and the green products. Because of that, those standards must be applied in our IoT system and in Wuxi, the IoT development as well as the competitiveness, Wuxi is truly ranking the top. The high-end textile is a flagship example in the whole world. Mr. Hu, what's the status of sensors? Take my company as an example. We produce ultrasound wave sensors to test and calculate the water volume. Especially we could be used for flood and disaster measurement. Like last year, the flood disaster in southern China, we came to help. And the second way of application is about irrigation. The third is about interlocking and polluted water monitoring. We are very proud that in the segmented markets, in the niche markets, the first two application scenarios, we are very competitive. We could be said as number one in China. Sometimes, if we compare with Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, we know that they have higher number of talents. But in our sector, we must be patient. We may take like 5 to 10 years work. And our absolute number of talents may be falling short, but we are more confident and patient from the government to enterprises to the staff. We would be happy to take it easy. Patience is our capital. So, why are you so patient to spend like 5 to 10 years' time to produce such a sensor? That's decided by the feature of the sensors. Traditionally, the products are produced based on the computer development, but for sensors, it's a very complex technology. Just like radar, we involve different disciplines like signal calculation, algorithm, signal processing. So it's a huge workload from the sample in the lab to production and mass production. It certainly takes a long time. It's very objective rule. And also we face high quality requirement. For us to dig into such high technologies, without patience, we can never do it. So be it the government, the enterprises, we must be patient, and that's our edge. You two are nodding. In Wuxi, you can cover raw materials to the upstream and to the terminal users as well. So it's an industrial chain, and that's why we are dedicated to the niche markets. Patience is our capital. Patience capital will help the enterprises to do more R&D work, including the product and technological products. If we look inward, we would have higher competitiveness in the future. Mr. Ge mentioned there is an issue of industrial chain. Do you mean just a textile industry? I meant IoT. It's all integrated chain. Basically, all sectors have IoT. IoT's development in China is a strategic position now. As an emerging industry, China stands ready to go all out to develop IoT. So based on your personal experience, why do you think we emphasize on IoT development? First of all, IoT industries, from a technical perspective, could empower many industries by providing more development opportunities and advantages. Traditional industries are restructuring themselves now, so in this process, efficiency could be improved and cost can be reduced. Meanwhile, because of technological development, there must be a lot more applications coming out. So they are penetrating into the daily lives of households. For example, the Mi Home appliances. They are using the internet technologies to enrich our daily lives. So we have more product choices. Mr. Ge, what's your take? The application of IoT technologies is inevitable. With our productivity boosted, traditional production models are losing their competitiveness. So we have to turn to big data analysis and system integration. The data collection and analysis must be grounded on the Internet of Things. We must capture the data from any independent device. Only when we acquire all of those data can we get an idea about the entire production process or the problems during the production, and then we can tackle the problems. Also, we are presented with more precise data support. So for any industry, IoT application can help them to develop faster. Yes, faster and more precisely. Mr. Hu? In the past 2 to 3 decades, our development benefited greatly from Internet. For example, Microsoft, Baidu, Alibaba, Google. But in the next few decades, our development must benefit from AI. For example, NVIDIA chips and large models. Many new industries like the humanoid robotics, the self-driving cars, the satellites in orbits, and also digital twin technology. Those emerging business forms are based on sensing. Without sensing, our AI analysis and data analysis are ungrounded. So, another example is when we are developing the smart cities, the data about the gas pipes, the bridges, we must collect data based on the sensors installed there. With AI development, the sensor technologies and companies and internet-based or data analysis companies will face huge opportunities. You are all experts in your field, and you have years of experience in your position. I'm curious, for IoT to develop better in the future, are there any obstacles for us to eradicate? What else do we need to do? First of all, we must step up our innovation and integration of industry and research. As has been said, IoT is highly connected and integrated. Our analysis technology on the backstage, an AI algorithm, data storage, different elements must be put together in order to generate the terminal benefits to the users. They're at the control end. Besides, for the scenarios, we must increase the original innovation for the security purpose of the industry as well. Second of all, infrastructure investment is very important. For example, telecommunication infrastructure. As to 5G development, China's development of 5G is already very impressive. For the others, we still need to focus on them, like satellite connection, algorithm, computing power. Third, commercialization of the industries with model innovation. The research institutes and the government agencies, as well as SOEs, must do some templates of application, but the business model must stand as well in order to have a closed loop and have sustainable and healthy development of the industry. Additionally, we must focus on talents cultivation with educational support in order to provide us with more talents. Another pointer is the patience capital from the financial institutions. We are not manufacturing industries, so the products cannot come out overnight. So we need patience from the investors. And I hope that the whole society could pay more attention to us. So you need the investors to be patient with you guys as well. Yes, Mr. Ge. On top of what he said, I just want to add 2 points. One, for those cutting-edge IoT technologies or digital transformation technologies, they must be integrated with our real economy, especially the factories. Often, we are not in lack of technologies. Our technologies are already world-leading. But the thing is, how to truly implement them in every vertical. That is going to be a focal point for our future industries. Mr. Hu, what else do you want to complement? Just one. Still about my industry. China's internet technologies, be it the technologies or the industries, are already world-leading compared to Europe and USA. Their application may not be as advanced as China. We benefit greatly from the national strategies and policies which are beneficial to the whole industries. Take mine as an example. The data twin technology has been applied in like the river system monitoring. The spongy city development strategy also helped. We have installed a lot of ultrasound wave sensors for that purpose, so we benefit greatly from the national strategies and policies. And looking back, China is truly world-leading. In recent 2 years, we are trying to export our technologies, for example, to Africa, to apply our technologies in the dams, or in Malaysia, we are monitoring their flood situation. We just hope that the national policies could continue to support us so that our industry could be elevated to a higher level.
Well, I certainly learned a lot about Internet of Things, and I certainly learned a lot about this industry issue. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I certainly did. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye.